Why are more people not talking about it, condemning the fact that we are now bombing another place in the Middle East? We leave a war after 20-something years. Do you realize we haven't truly won wars since World War II? We just go in and start conflicts and then spend a lot of money, spend a lot of taxpayer money and no oversight. Did we get a declaration to go bomb Yemen and the Houthi terrorists? No, we didn't. Then why are we doing it? Today's video, we're going to talk about that, because what we're doing is we are prodding a bear to then turn around and see the problem on our own U.S. soil, and how, as an American, you better look over your shoulder and have good situational awareness, because our regime is actually causing major issues across the world and prodding bears that we should be prodding. Let's talk about it today. This video starts right now. Hey guys, welcome to the Max. Thank you so much for being here today. I tell you what, I've just been a little perturbed. I wake up to the fact that, you know, we talked about the airstrikes yesterday, but there are millions of people taken to the streets in Yemen saying that now they're going to retaliate. I kind of think back in my mind, I remember Biden saying and stating that Trump should not have killed the general of Iran when we bombed him. The crazy thing is Trump dropped one thing, killed one guy in his car, which was a known terrorist and leader of people against America. However, the story yesterday of the airstrikes, we dropped around 70, we do about 70 airstrikes to take out 5 people. How much money did that airstrike cost us? Did we get congressional approval for those airstrikes? Are they really a threat to us? Really, I mean, in all honesty, are they really a threat to us to go in and start another war for America to fight in the Middle East? A report says West is turning the Red Sea into a bloodbath. The international reaction to Thursday night's US-UK coalition bombing of the Houthi positions in Yemen continues to come in, and the more interesting statements are coming from places like, again, Russia and Turkey. It's the kind of the Gog and Magog situation, if you think of your biblical history. But what blows my mind is we are condemning things like the Gazans come into Israel, which, again, I agree. We're condemning the fact of Russia going into Ukraine, which, again, I agree. Even though it's not our battle, we shouldn't be picking on any sides of any of these situations because it does not deal with us. We're talking about Guyana and Venezuela. We're talking about Taiwan and China. And all of a sudden, we choose to bomb another region for a situation that we're not really involved with. I know it deals with shipping. I know we are supposed to be the Navy of the world, but do we really think bombing another country that's already in civil war, that already has terrorist ties, that already has a bone to pick with us dealing with Iran and with all the other things going on in the world, why do we think this is a good idea? Especially when we don't have congressional approval to be bombing another sovereign country. The Turkish leader actually, even though he is, to me, a bad guy, he was pretty much on the U.S. side, but he came out in strong opposition to NATO and the U.S. going into this campaign of airstrikes against the Houthi in Yemen. And the crazy thing is, after dropping 60 Tomahawk missiles, the Houthis are saying they're undeterred. And to be honest with you, we dropped so many, and only 5 of the Houthi terrorists were killed in it. So was that really a smart ploy there? You know, it's amazing. We have special forces who can do a lot more, probably real quick on the ground, in and out, versus bombing a whole area to cause a big world catastrophic event to where everybody's looking at us saying, look, here you are prodding the bear again in the Middle East. There's a report that come out says millions have filled the streets of Yemen as Houthi rebels promise to avenge and have revenge against America for the 73 strikes. It only killed 5 people. They struck a sovereign country. The Houthis promised to continue attacking cargo ships in support of the Palestinians. Their attacks are having real impact on Tesla, recently announcing that they had to close Germany factories due to the delays. Now, we know the problems with the shipping. it's a big deal. I understand we're going to have a lot of expense dealing with the shipping, but it all comes back to a territorial dispute with Israel and Gaza. Even though we believe that Israel is sovereign and we support them, again, as Christians, as U.S., we have to come to a point where we realize you're not going to solve this problem in the Middle East. There will always be turmoil between the Jews and Arabs. But what it does is when they have spats, it spills over. And that spillage is what's going to cause more issues like this. The shipping is a problem. If I was these shipping vessels, I wouldn't be going in the Red Sea right now. If all of a sudden no shipments are going in and out of the Red Sea, then therefore Iran, anyone in that area is going to be not getting supplies that it needs. Therefore, they're going to say, hey, look, you better let some ships in here or we're not going to eat. We're not going to have goods. So you can do this in a reverse way to say, you know what? Just don't go in that area. Don't cause those problems. If we need those goods and we can't get them out of there, so be it, we go without. Then that's going to cause more problems for shortages, which is going to cause more of the world to say, you know what? These terrorists have to be stopped, and it's going to be handled within. You would be surprised how much, how good it would be if all of a sudden that happens. It causes crisis for everybody. Then everybody goes in and says, you know what? These terrorists have to be stopped. Versus doing what we just did, or we consider being proactive and taking out these terrorists. Now, do I believe terrorists should have free for all in these areas? No. But it's not America's job to oversee and police the world. Because what's happening? While we're worried about everybody else's border, our border's open. So when they're saying we're promising attacks, and Muslims and Arabs who believe in this Fatah, or they believe in this movement to say, you know what, the West is evil, they're going to plan attacks here on the U.S. soil. And the more we prod the bear, the more it's making people more radicalized in their thought patterns against America or against the West. We've seen things like this happen over in the European countries that it's had open borders. Now we're going to start seeing that here. Why do we want that here? It's all because we're prodding a bear, worried about everybody else while we're not having a sovereign border. And again, the crazy thing is, Biden has condemned Trump for doing that with Soleimani. And again, Soleimani was one person, and it was in the car, killed a few other people. One attack right there. And everybody denounced Trump for it. However, Biden is dropping bombs on areas that have not been considered, a war zone for us to be fighting in. We're having issues with drones over in Iraq. Why are we involving ourselves in all these military disputes? Are they just that much in bed with the defense contractors in America? I honestly believe if we did not have lobbyists fighting for pharma, fighting for defense, fighting for whatever it may be, I believe you'd see stronger congressmen denounce this kind of stuff. You'd see stronger representatives wanting our borders sovereign and wanting peace across the world. But I believe they've been so bought and paid for. They have so many ties to these big contractors and lobbyists that they almost just, they say, oh, well, we shouldn't be doing that. But no one's actually calling Biden's hand at it. We're too worried about Hunter. Instead, we should be worried about the fact that we have a president who is taking it on himself to initiate strikes across the world, people. Now, this is not just a simple thing. This is not taking out bin Laden. This is not taking out Soleimani. You are bombing a sovereign country that we have not been dealing with. And for what? Just so some shipping vessels can go through this area? Cut the shipping vessels off. If I was America, the best thing to do is say, you know what? They want to play this game? No more shipping vessels in this area. Keep your Navy outside the Red Sea, and you say no more shipping going in and out. Does that mean people would struggle there? Yep. Guess what? It would make them go to the Houthi and say, you can't do this. We have to have goods. And it would make the infighting and the civil wars in Yemen keep on happening and us not be involved in it. But no, we put ourselves right in the middle. So then it comes down to, why does it pertain to us? Why should we worry? Why am I making this video? Because if we are not careful, we are going to allow those terrorists, those people to come across our border. And we need to have a situational awareness, especially if you live in these cities and these big areas, because what's going to happen? They're going to attack us like we are dropping airstrikes and doing things over there. It doesn't work to a point where they're just like, okay, we'll let it go. Now, granted, America's way stronger than any terrorist group around. But if they can attack and do things like they've done before, they can do it again. And then there we go again in a full-out war across the world, spending tax dollars that we don't have. It's amazing to me. Why are we going? It's like we don't learn from history, so then we just keep repeating the same vicious cycle, all in the name of politics or lobbyists or who's paying who, and the Americans always suffer, either through our tax dollars or the fact that we have to sacrifice our men and women to go overseas to fight for issues that we should be fighting for. And all we had to do is just close our borders and just keep to ourselves, build an exceptional America, and not get in these situations. But you better, as a prepper, as someone who wants to live sustainable, if you're living in cities, have situational awareness, understand what it means to protect yourself, because this is not going to just go away. You're going to see more and more polarization, which is going to make more and more radicalization, which is going to make more and more of these people who support the Muslim way and the Arab way of these terrorists and Hamas and Hezbollah. You're going to see more of that coming to our shores, and our shores are not protected like they should be. So therefore, I believe our cities are going to be more and more vulnerable. So I hope that you're doing everything you can to take care of yourself. If you look at Ecuador, what's happening in Ecuador right now? Well, you have a mafia that is pretty much taking over the country. Why can't the Ecuadorian people take care of themselves? They don't have Second Amendment rights. That's another thing. If you're an American right now and you live in these cities who are taking away your rights, and all of a sudden we're not closing our borders, and all of a sudden we're prodding bears across the world, and they're saying they're going to retaliate against us, and you have no way to defend yourself and to protect your family, that's a problem. You better get out of these cities. And if you're not going to get out of these cities, you better learn to protect yourself and make sure your family knows every avenue to get safe, to bug out where they're supposed to go, or know where to go if something were to go wrong. I think we're going to see a crap hits the fan scenario because we in 2024 are putting ourselves in too many situations. Taiwan just elected a guy who wants autonomy from China. So that's going to cause more issues. What are we looking at? There's been reports that China has said if they do want to invade Taiwan, the best time compared to the shores and the situation with Taiwan is in early spring. We're getting close to that. And then again, we're having issues across the world. You see, Ukraine is falling to pieces, and now we're involving ourselves in the Middle East. What are we doing, people? We're causing Americans money and also security back at home. So that's my thoughts for the day. We should not be involving ourselves in any of these places. If we would just build a strong sovereign nation, secure our borders, and realize people could do better by just taking care of American people, building an independent energy, building an independent goods. That way we're not worried about the Red Sea shipping. It would be amazing. We really could do trade with Canada, with Mexico, with people in South America, and get everything and anything that we need instead of going all across the world to cause issues, to cause chaos, and to put ourselves involved in all these wars that we shouldn't be in. I do believe if our elected officials could not take underhanded money and lobbyist money, I truly believe we wouldn't be dealing with this. But because they're all sellouts and they all don't have a backbone, that's why we're in the problems that we're in. So if you live in cities or you live in these big areas, please prepare yourself, because I believe you're going to see retaliation, and I hope it's not on the U.S. grounds. I hope it's not anywhere across America or any military bases, but I'm scared that we're seeing movement towards the U.S. grounds because we have an open border and we're saying, please come in. Give me your thoughts. Let me know what you think about today's rant. Thank you so much for watching. Again, if you are new to the channel, please go down here and subscribe. Thank you so very much for watching. We humbly thank you for that. We hope that you enjoy these videos each and every day. Thank you so much. Watch over your family. Take care of them. God bless you. Have a good day. Happy homesteading.